With the right CPU, you can...
Welcome back to DreamHack Masters, ladies and gentlemen. I was a little confused there, Blood, nonetheless, but we do get back into the action. It's going to be map number 3 coming right up. It's Mirage, a map that everybody should be relatively comfortable on, but coming into this final map, no matter how good ENCE perform, I think we always just have to predict Complexity to win this, just based on everything we know about Counter-Strike, everything we've grown to know and learned about this game. It has to be Complexity that win this, but ENCE have shown more than we could have ever expected.
They have, and you gotta bear in mind though, Complexity did ban out Nuke. They had the option of banning Mirage and playing Nuke. Instead, they were like, you know what, we're feeling comfortable with Mirage. And despite the fact they got smashed by Cloud9 very recently, just a couple of days back, 16-8 I do believe the scoreline was, but it's a map they are very comfortable on, I have to agree with you. But it is also very topsy-turvy, right? They beat the lesser teams very convincingly, but they struggled against the tier 1 teams. They beat Sprout 16-4, they lost to Vitality 16-7, and then they beat Na'Vi of all teams on Mirage. So it's a map which seems to be kind of fickle for this team, but considering ENCE are still, yes, they've been promising, yes, they've looked fantastic so far on Dust 2, the second half, and winning Overpass as well, you still have to favor the Juggernaut.
You definitely have, and I think a big part of what is going to be good for Complexity coming into this final map is going to be BlameF. I don't think he's really been at the level we want him to be at in this series so far. You know, we haven't had to say BlameF is doing wonderful things. He's had some good rounds, yes, here and there, but it's not really the performance you want out of him. If it was, then I don't think we are sitting here on map number 3. And obviously that's just, that could be attested to anybody on this Complexity team to stand up and have a big performance. I think JKS certainly underperformed in map number 2. But this is a map where I've traditionally seen BlameF play really well on. Back in his heroic days, now this is a long time ago, he would just single-handedly take over this map. Same with Epsilon. This is a map he's been very comfortable on throughout his entire career as an individual. And what we've seen is he's not scared to set up the team around him, right? He's very confident in his own abilities as an in-game leader, and he's not going to be one of those in-game leaders to sit back and let you take all the star roles. He will put himself in those places, and I'm excited to see what BlameF can do.
It's kind of surprising that that you mentioned BlameF has been kind of quiet because of how high his standard is. He's actually got 45 kills in the 2 maps. He dropped over 20 kills in both the maps, but by his standards, it's still kind of an underperformance if you think of it. But Config has been spectacular, Dinko. His opening kills have been fantastic so far. Like you pointed out, Will Rush has been kind of quiet. We have JKS as well, comparatively a little bit quiet on that map number 2. But let's talk about the positives for ENCE, right? Everyone has been spectacular. Yampy has surprisingly been the quietest player on the team. Sunny had his moments. He's also in-game leading as well, mind you. And you have Dodo and Statics, who have just been a revelation so far in this series. The question is, can it continue as we do head into the final map here, ladies and gentlemen? It's going to be ENCE starting on the T side. Bit of utility being expended towards mid, but the hit, it's going to be coming in towards A. And for Complexity, they've gone for a kind of a mini stack towards the B bomb side.
Yampy starting to put pressure on towards the A side. Immediately, ENCE just running over the top of this. JKS is being picked out of the round early. And Complexity, I feel like they've lost every single one of the first pistol rounds so far in this series. So this is definitely going to be very important for them. And ENCE looking to grab control of this again. They've got a 2-man advantage, and they've got a good post plan into this. And now the last 3 remaining players trying to retake this bomb site via CT. Smoke is up. Alu's headshot through the smoke delivered on towards Rush. BlameF following up with one of his own. But now it's still a 2v4. Defuse attempting to come through and the knife through the smoke. Statics gets it. We were looking for another one there. I believe Sunny was trying to get in on the knife action. But it's ENCE that win the pistol round. And Complexity off to yet another poor start.
Well, one thing ENCE is definitely winning is the knife wars. They've got 2 knives so far in this series. We had Sunny get it, Industrial, like you mentioned there, and Statics as well. The new kid on the block. Looking good. As a Complexity, it is going to be the force investment. You Deagles. Try peek, that's a failed smoke. That's something you don't see that often. Not just in higher tiers of Counter-Strike, Dinko, but anywhere, to be honest. It's a very simple smoke to hit, but hey, we're all human after all.
We've definitely all had our fair share of missed smoke grenades, but definitely don't expect to see them as often in a professional level match. But nonetheless, utility at the usage, or at the ready to be used, should I say, as it goes in towards this A site. Smokes are up, Molotov's in. And JKS playing close quarters with the CZ75. First kill should have come through, but Yampi's quick in the headshot. Lightning fast, in fact, to react. And JKS gets picked apart. Now the defense is forced out of the A bomb site. And it's going to be real difficult to get back in here. So Complexity is going to carry what they've got into the next round. And it's going to be ENCE up 2-0.
Yeah, immediate call for the save. They'll lose JKS, and I think it was he was trying to avoid flashback, which never came. And unfortunately, Yampi quick with a UMP. And a poison config. Bleeding out. 8 points of health, 10 points of health. This is going to be saving together towards B apartments and ENCE. A no-nonsense push coming out towards the A bomb side. Not wasting any time. Not being trepidant. And this is a complete 180. For those of you who probably missed out on Dust 2, but for those of you who were around for Dust 2, if you remember the T side from ENCE, it was so trepidant, so passive, scared, I might even say, in which they were just looking for picks, looking for Complexity to do something, they were trying to react to it, and then all of a sudden, it all changed. And now, they're the ones kind of taking the reins of the game. They're the ones forcing Complexity to adapt and to make changes in the way they're setting up. So this is incredible to see such a massive change for a team in a span of a series.
Poison attempting some damage through that early window smoke. They're going to come back and pick up the bomb that's left in spawn, and ENCE look to try and finish on this A bomb side. Complexity pulled 2 extra players over here. And ENCE, this is a very early decision coming in to go into this A site, but Confident gets the lower tier weapons, but it's going to be a real mess here. Smokes up. They've got to hope that Config does not deliver some deadly deeks. Close in the rack. Yampi going around the corner. First kill in from Config. He might just get a second here as well, but Sadix is quick. And now JKS, the USP in hand. Not the best weapon for this close quarter fight, but this is where you want it. Close and personal. This is the best chance to get something over the line. And Dodo will be there with a MAC-10. Kill on the JKS comes through. And it's a 4v3. Man advantage for ENCE as they seem to have recovered. And there's still so much time to play with.
They're out of utility though, Dinko. So they need to start getting the bomb down. They have a lot of time to work with. However, Sunny is going to be walking on in, and Rush is going to clothesline him. It's a 3v3. There's a gun down, but Dodo is there to pick up the remaining pieces of Complexity. Poison left alone. Scout in hand. He's going to go for the no-scope, but that's not going to land. Sadix? I guess that's how you pronounce his name. He is definitely looking good as well. Dodo with a 3k, saving the round. That could have got a little bit more expensive for ENCE, Dinko. They picked up the AK, got another kill. You know, they've been happy with that. But ENCE, they hold on. 3-0. They've been pretty good with some of these opening leads, like you mentioned. They've been winning more pistol rounds than Complexity have by the looks of things. But now for Complexity, dual op setup coming out in the very first buy. Map number 3.
Poison close by. The shot is landed onto Yampi. Poison able to pick it up. And now we've got a 5 versus 4. Man advantage in play. Config out middle. Sunny going down, and now Rush hiding behind the smoke. At the edge of it, tries to fight. Dodo taking the headshot on the Khalil. ENCE may be a man down, but they've got the site. They've got the utility raining on into the market. And the kill from Dodo continues to come through. It's not just a one-map performance at Overpass. He continues to get the damage done here on Mirage. Walks into the waiting arms of Poison. That kill was relatively easy for Poison to collect. He knows Sadix is still behind this bench, and he's just waiting for that peek to come through. Flash is going to come on up. Sadix now swings out, and Poison. There's your peek you're waiting for, and Sadix getting the double kill. He wants 3, and JKS denies it. 1 versus 1, and there's no time to win the round. JKS is out of that. Alu throws the Molotov for the insurance, and it's going to be 4 rounds, 4 ENCE locked in.
Man, oh man, oh man. I thought it was going to come down to Alu. Like you said, his position was known as well. Perfect peaks, perfect timing on that. And Sadix. Clean shots. And the first real test for ENCE on this map number 3. It's going to go their way. What a shot from Sadix with the Poison, though. And perfect pre-fire from BlameF as well. BlameF was ready and waiting, Dinko, with the AK-47, the first bullet. That's all he needs. 1 head to the dome, and he's done for. Please have AWP to work with. Does Poison. Like investment coming in from Complexity, but for the very first time, I feel like ENCE, if they can get off to like a solid start. Like they've won the pistol round, they've won the anti-ecos. This happened in Dust 2 as well. They had a 3-0 lead, and then it was Complexity bouncing back. We saw an overpass as well, where they had the 3-0 start, and then Complexity just managed to bring it back. So if ENCE can kind of capitalize on this, you know, without hemorrhaging too many players, without losing too many players, and make a 6-0, potential 7-0 lead, it could be huge.
He's going to go out towards the bottom of connector. Statics with the headshot. The MAC-10 delivers onto BlameF. Config with the deagle. Oh my god, that's just so nasty from Config. Statics' head torn from his shoulders. And Config looks to tear ENCE limb from limb, if possible, with this deagle. Rush playing close quarters on the ramp. Config now spotting Sunny. He will fall. And Config getting it done on the deagle right now. This is looking scary. Finally, he is shut down by Yampy. Rush tries to get aggressive. This flashbang should have been good enough, but Dodo got around the corner quickly. And now Poison spots out Yampy in the connector and does a good job. 2v2, a chance still for Complexity. That kill is so important, and Alu has picked it up. All onto Poison Blood, a 1v2.
I love the reposition coming in here. They're still expecting to be looking towards the bomb. Can it cut off the player crossing on over, standing in the flames? He hit the flick shot. That is huge. 7 seconds. Alu's got to pick it up. He just... No, he's out of time.
He has no time. There's no time for it at all. And Poison, that kill was enough to win the round. They crossed to try and hit the bomb, but there was just no time for the plant. I think Alu stepped a little bit too much there on the site. He would have had to immediately commit to the plant. And Poison gets it done. It started all with Config on this deagle, delivering a lot of work. Yampy, unfortunately, makes himself visible in that smoke. Just kind of getting unlucky there, really. And Config taking his opportunity. 4-1 on the board. Complexity, that's the first round they win.
Can we just please appreciate that repositioning from Poison, right? He gets the kill from short, immediately runs into jungle. He knows bombs drop. He knows they're going to be wary of his position, and he just prevents the cross from taking place. And like you said, Alu maybe took it just a couple of seconds, 1 second, half a second too long to get the bomb down. But what a play from Poison. What a round for Complexity to win, to get the first round on board. Config. B-bomb side defender with the AWP. And Complexity. They're not seeing or hearing anything towards mid. And with that, we're going to be seeing JKS going on a bit of an excursion. He's going to be alone. He's going to push on further is the question. No, he's not. He's just going to hold the line. Poison, Wise Lonesome, just floating around towards the smoke. ENCE aren't showing anything. But they are heading for this A-bomb site.
Poison. Kill onto Sunny. He wants another one from Triple, if possible. And nothing being given on over just yet. Kill from BlameF onto Alu. Good kill coming through. Poison caught. Yampy with the kill. The second one picked up as well. Now it's a man advantage. Still in play for Complexity. But ENCE, they have a chance to win this. Flash goes over the top of the stairs. The position from Config is still incredibly strong right now. He's just holding for that palace peak. If he goes a little bit wider, he would catch the default planter. But JKS, he's waiting for his chance, and he's got the kill. BlameF secures the victory, and it's 2 in a row now for Complexity. The money is gone for ENCE. There was no bomb plant there in the final few moments, so the extra money is not there for ENCE right now. So it's likely just to be a couple of upgraded pistols, and that's really it.
Dodo and Sadix have a combined tally of 14 kills, while the rest of the team have just 7. That's pretty cool. That is so cool. As what is not cool is BlameF gets taken down with a P to 50. They've done a lot of damage with the utility, and Config's going to ensure that an M4 is not going to fall in the hands of Yampy. Should find a 3rd kill as well. Takes a bit of damage, but that's okay. But Sunny finds JKS, and it finds themselves onto the site, but Poison's around. And he is venomous indeed. He's going to find the one, and Dodo find another kill. It could be expensive, but Config with the 4K. A bit too expensive for my liking for Complexity, but they do at least win the round.
Timeout coming through for ENCE, knowing that this round has a lot of importance for their momentum moving forward, and for the chances here on Mirage. Let this one slide. Complexity now tie things up. Money gone again for the Finnish side, so A lot rides on this next round coming up. You will see the purchase out. We won't see an AWP in the hands of Alu. And will be the rifles in every single player's hands right now. And that's incredibly important to take note of based on the performance that Alu has had so far, Blair.
Absolutely. Thing is about maintaining that level, right? Alu has been great so far in this entire series. We saw Sadix step up on Dust 2, kind of quiet on map number 2, but then right now he's waking up in Mirage. Dodo has just woken up since Overpass and he hasn't stopped. Yampy, though, he was the quiet player so far in the series, but Mirage, it's looking good so far. Still early days. Flashbang is good, but BlameF, he doesn't find anything, does so much damage though, and with that JKS and Config, quick trades. Config still aware there's a player towards Connector. And that is Sadix at 18 points of health. He's going to reposition himself. He knows his position has been compromised and Poison's going to peer towards mid. Is going to clear it out. Finds no one around. Config wondering where the hell has he gone to. And now it's a 2v2. Dodo is clearing out A. Creeping towards Connector. Config on the flank, and it's going to be Poison. Spots his feet at the edge of the smoke, and it's all on Sadix, Dinko. First game, his debut game for ENCE. And now he's in a 1v2. 18 points of health versus Poison and Config.
Sadix, this would be a huge clutch, but he's caught looking the wrong way. Poison at the top of the stairs delivers a third kill in the round, and it's 4 apiece. Complexity tied things up, and ENCE not getting the round over the board. We take a look at what they've got going into this next round again, and it is just going to be those pistols out. There's going to be the Deagles, the upgraded Tech 9s with a little bit of armor potentially here coming up. But it really is not looking that great for ENCE right now. They've kind of fallen a little bit flat on the attacking side. Complexity getting things going.
They do indeed. Tying things up, but like I said earlier, very early days. I don't know how Config gets that kill, but he's gonna find 2. Showing that the guy can do everything, and just picking them one by one like lemmings, jumping straight to their death. And well, he spots out Yampy, even though he doesn't get the kill. Information has been conveyed, and Poison's there waiting with his op as well. Bomb on the side. The rest of the team is starting to slowly congregate towards the side, and Config is gonna get the ace. I'm gonna give him the ace. Yes, they are. One of the slowest, easiest op aces I've ever witnessed, even though it was an eco dinko. But Complexity, they get the lead. And now for ENCE, no bomb planted, but that's okay. They have the money anyway. AK is going to be coming out. The op in the hands of Alu? Maybe not. I don't really fancy him going for the glass cannon. They're being very liberal with the timeouts. They're down to, well, they still have 2 remaining, but they've used 2 already, and we still haven't seen round number 10 being played out.
Time ticking. And the tactical timer out as Complexity in the lead will pull out that double op setup. Now, this was very exciting to watch if you remember back to Dust 2. This was an incredible sight to see over for the Complexity defense. It was doing a lot of work between Config and Poison. So I'd love to see that work out again for Complexity over here. ENCE, again, no open play at all, so a little bit unfortunate for them, but a quicker play through middle, and Poison on the gap, catching out one onto Yampy. JKS's flash was perfect as well, and that's the opening kill, and ENCE just trying something quicker, and it's not working out for them. Lots of smokes, lots of gaps, probably offset by Complexity themselves, but ENCE still just getting caught out by them. They tried to play off the utility early on, it just didn't really work out for them. They're down 3 players immediately.
And they are. That was so well done by Complexity. Like I said, 3 different frags. Sorry, 3 frags, 3 different players. Blame of getting the kill, getting the second kill from Connector, Poison with the op. And this dual op setup, it's looking good. Config especially. It's being such a thorn in the side of ENCE early on. Taking the fights towards mid, then shutting it down towards B, playing from the B short region. He's been fantastic so far. That's something which looking for more is hungry. Sadix is going to punish him for it, but with that, position is known, and BlameF's going to drop him. Op will be retrieved as well. I thought they're probably going to stick with the AK-47, but yeah, Complexity getting a couple of rounds lead. But for ENCE, Dinko, This mid-control hasn't really been working out for them. And it's not really mid-control play, so to speak. They aren't really going for any
No.
classic controlled smokes and whatnot, and it's not really working out. But these A hits have been fantastic, and I would like to see them going back to their bread and butter again. It's worked out for them multiple times.
I'd love to see them just get money in the bank. I'd rather, right now, I'd rather see Alu not buy Kevlar. I want to see him on the AWP. He was such an important player for them. Obviously, with the loss bonus, he's going to be able to likely still get that AWP out, especially if they get a bomb plant down here, which wouldn't be too bad. But I definitely agree that this A site has seen a lot more success for ENCE. And right now, as a new team, as a team that's just put together, you kind of just want to go with what's working, right? You're not really going to have a deep playbook. It is Mirage, but you're still not really going to have that system built around the team where everybody's going to be feeling 100% comfortable just yet. So you really just got to do what's working. And right now, this A bomb site has been the one site they've been able to do a lot of work into. So seems like they're heavy setting up outside of it this time. Utility's going over to the top, smokes and flashes on in. And the goal here in this round for ENCE is obviously to try and win, but mainly to get that bomb plant through. And JKS on the hold.
The turret helped out by the secondary turret. That's Poison on top of Ticket. Sal with the Deagle trying to go for the pre-fire, but JKS and well, they're not gonna miss those shots. And Sunny's gonna be left alone. Denko, he was on the long flank, hoping to get the bomb down, so he'd have something to work with. But instead, he's gonna be kind of caught on the open. Could potentially get lucky and get a timing right into config. But even then, it's gonna be complexity getting to round number 7 here.
Sunny going up towards ladder room. He's going to check down in towards the window. He'll spot Rush. Hasn't taken the shot just yet. Wants to get closer. Wants to confirm this kill. And he's got it. There's at least one in the round. But much more than that, likely to not come through.
Config's not missing anything. 17 and 5.
Yeah.
Jeez, I didn't even realize. That's nuts.
Look at the comparison between him and Rush.
Look at Poison. He's on to the... They have 30 kills. 30 kills between Poison and Config. And a combined total of 9 deaths. That's grotesque.
Yeah, that's unbelievable right now for complexity. That's 2 players just spearheading this approach. And ENCE now having to figure things out. Yeah, this is why I didn't want Alu to buy Kevlar in the last round. What's the point in that? You just buy Kevlar in this round, you know? So, but he still gets the kill, still makes it work, and he's gonna run over the top in towards the site. Rush will shut him down though. Bit of an interesting approach there from Alu. No one's really close by to help him out either, so there's no trade just yet. I'm going to try and get this B control. But look at the adjustment in the defense from complexity. They've pulled another player over here. It's Poison on the AWP. Rush tucked away. Get right. Taking another kill onto Settings. And he's looking for more. Finally, he's shut down. Finally, he's taken out of the round. But complexity, they're trying to lose so many players. Dodo's on the flank.
Oh, poor play, man. He's
no. Oh,
Dodo!
What? You've ruined it.
No! Don't move! It's not Valorant. You don't move and spray. Oh. They gave them a chance. They gave them a chance.
You said poor Blim F. He's just going to turn around and get the 180 kill. Now there's a chance for complexity to actually win this round. Yampy and Sunny, a 2v2. A little bit of a comedic moment happening over towards that A site, but still, you've got to realize what that could mean for this round. This puts complexity in a position where they can still win it. The time is ticking though, and the positions are strong, and the kills will come through. ENCE lock in a 5th round. Oh my god, there was a lot of blunders in that one.
Saved. Absolutely saved. Oh, can we take a replay from Dodo? We've been praising Dodo so far, and he goes and does that. Like, he does that. Oh. There was absolutely no need to move there, Dinko. There was no one shooting at him.
Yeah, that's just a little bit of excitement. Oh, free kill. Lock that in, and then it kind of doesn't go that way, does it?
In the mortal words of Henry G. Why has he done that?
He may not be casting, but his words may will always live on in this esport. But nonetheless, round 13 playing out. ENCE, they are down by 2 rounds right now. But finally, a little something going their way. This mid control though from Complexity looks interesting. Good setup coming through. BlameF more aggressive. Peek over the top. Doesn't want to commit fully to it. He's about to be pushed by 2 different positions, and that's the bomb foul. Can he get a second kill? That would have been huge, but no. The answer was a most definitive no, and that is going to be Yampy and Alu taking the kills. ENCE looking at 6 rounds now, unless JKS and Rush can pull something off. JKS has been really quiet in this series so far and continues to be so as Alu shuts him out of the round. It's just Rush saving over into the next round with his AUG. And that's going to be ENCE up to 6 rounds now. They've actually been really impressive at how they've been able to adapt so far. You know, we've seen Complexity take control. They've taken the reins of the series many times so far, Blair. But the most impressive thing about ENCE is they actually are able to figure out what to do. They've been able to adapt, and that's something you don't really expect from a brand new team.
Absolutely. Like I said earlier, right? You might have a week-long boot camp or even like a 2-week boot camp, but when you have such like 2 young players who, when I say young, I mean like in top levels of Counter-Strike, and even actually in the case of Sadix, he's pretty young as well. Like when you haven't played the high tiers of Counter-Strike for, well, ever, and you're going to be playing in an event like a DreamHack Masters against a team like Complexity, the Juggernauts, and you're playing like this, able to snatch back scenarios where it's looking grim for you, that is supremely impressive. Again, reminding everyone, Overpass, which they won 16-14, out of the 30 rounds, out of the 30 opening duels, Complexity won 20 opening duels, and yet they lost 16-14. That's how good ENCE were at kind of playing these 4v5 man disadvantages, and I gotta say, just some impressive stuff. I do believe we have a bit of a technical issue, but I don't think it's gonna be too long, hopefully. Fingers crossed. We have a player dropping out for the side of Complexity. But for Complexity, Dinko, it's been the tale of the 2 operas. It has been primarily Config and Poison putting in all the work, while everyone else has been kind of quiet.
Yeah, it's been one of those scenarios where Complexity are really relying on just that individual level against ENCE, right? And we thought that wouldn't be a problem in this matchup, to be honest, Blair. Coming into this, both you and I, and pretty much the majority of people with an analytical mind would assume that this was not going to be a series that ENCE should be able to win. But coming into this, a little bit of an underperformance from some of the players, namely JKS and Rush, I have to feel. Now, Rush is always more of that supportive element, but the fact that JKS has gone down inside of the sites without a kill a lot of the times is a big problem, because he is one player you look to be a very consistent anchor player. And if you haven't really got that, then Complexity are always having a bit of a weakness, right? So for me, Complexity should have been in a far more comfortable position already in this game. But nonetheless, they're still ahead, but ENCE are chipping right back. And Mirage is becoming very exciting as we head into this. And we have got some internet problems, which should be fixed very shortly. And then we'll get right back into this play.
I think they're all in. Immediately fixed. There we go. Tier 1 internet right there in a Complexity boot camp. As... Oh, wait. Dodo has joined Complexity?
Yeah, we've got 2 Alus as well. We're just waiting for the HUD to refresh.
That's terrifying.
It's
2 Alus is
it's
absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, you don't want 2 Alus if you're Complexity right now, right? 1 is enough. Or maybe even too much. As we'll get to see the rest of this half play out. Complexity in the lead by 1 round. And it's finally a big part of their success. Again, I have to say, for ENCE, it's getting Alu on that AWP. And for a lot of the rounds in the first half, they didn't have that.
Indeed, and with that particular gun in hand, his preferred weapon of choice, I want to see Complexity mix how they're holding mid here. They've done this multiple times. Sometimes it's worked out, sometimes it hasn't. They usually get the opening kill, and they have won a couple of rounds at the back of it, but ENCE have managed to always just snatch it back. Trade game has been fantastic so far from ENCE. Their spacing generally on this Mirage map. For Complexity, it's like they have a couple of ideas, and once it doesn't work out, they seem to be kind of like left wondering what to do. Late smoke for jungle, Poison with the reply back, flashback from Sunny to Pure around the corner, smoke for connector, and Config is seeing all of this. He's going to reposition himself, I think. He's going to be pushing on further. Pushing towards mid, and Rush is blind as a bat, and Dodo's going to find him. There's nothing he could do, and BlameF trying his best to maybe reply back. Config sneaking in from behind, but Sunny, he's lying in wait.
Sunny around the corner. Config. Oh, the timing. Sunny looks away. And Config with the headshot. 4v4. Config dives down. Alu spotted that and just takes a better angle. This should be a kill. There it is on Poison. Can he get another one? He loses the second player there and he hits the shot, but the flashbang is so good. Alu tries to retreat, but he's caught by the Config bullets. And now Dodo inside of the site. It's going to be enough. Complexity is going to walk away. The time ticking too far. And Alu just delaying them and delaying them further. It's another round added to the tally for ENCE. And that's going to be 7 on the board.
It's crazy how ENCE have made every single map so far look competitive, right? Let's forget the first half of Duster. That was a lifetime ago. It was 11-4. And then they won like 8 rounds in a row. What was it? 16-12, the final scoreline. They won Overpass, Complexity's map pick. And right now, halfway through, well, almost halfway through the final map here, they're tied up. This has been incredible from ENCE. Although, that being said, I do want to point out that Complexity, individually, a couple of the players have been, you said it as well, JKS hasn't necessarily been the beast that he could potentially be, but also haven't seen too much of variation on the CD side from Complexity on their defense. We've seen a bit of that mid setup where we have Config playing up towards mid, then you have the default double op setup, which is working wonderfully for them earlier on. But apart from that, nothing too varied. That's something that ENCE have been taking advantage of. Bit of a ruse towards A, Dinko. Smoke's being tossed on in, flashes as well, but look at where the bomb is. It's with Alu, and his op is trained towards B halls.
Oh, Dodo. Trying to get out on towards the site. Molotov going in towards default. The play into the B bomb site is truly what ENCE want. Rush trying to hold on. 3 kills, and that's what he'll end on at this half. Sadix and Yampi taking the kills. It's looking good for ENCE as they immediately crack open the defensive Complexity. Bomb planted, locked in, and ENCE will be looking their 8th round to win this half again. They won the half over an Overpass. A little bit more convincing on that map, but here it has been a comeback. It has not been an easy showing in this first half, but ENCE have figured it out. And now running on in, it's Poison, the last remaining player, trying to get it done, looking for these kills, and it just will not happen. ENCE get the round, they get the half, and they're looking to try and close out this series as we head into the second half.
That is some incredible stuff coming out from ENCE here, but we need a breather. I'm sure everyone needs a breather. I'm sure Complexity does as well. We're going to be going to a quick break, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll be back with more action.
When it's late at night, I feel you on my skin. My skin, you're all that's on my mind. It's finally sinking in. You're it. I know you're feeling different when you're stressed out, but even with no makeup, you still stand out. 'Cause no one makes me feel the way you do now, like you do now. You move your body, it make it look like a hobby. Every time that you touch me, it's electricity. Things we discovered underneath last night's covers. Everything came so easy. It's electricity. Electricity. It's electricity. You move your body. Electricity. You move your body. It's electricity.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second half. Are ENCE about to do it? Are ENCE about to take down Complexity and send them to the lower bracket to play against Cloud9? You said you wanted the rematch, Blair. I don't think this is what you expected.
Nope, I was thinking Cloud9, you know, the Colossus Juggernaut rematch happening in the upper bracket. But yeah, ENCE might be like, oh, wait, you're telling me they lost to Gambit? Cloud9 lost to Gambit? Well, you know what? We're just going to make the matchup happen anyway. That could be the case, and it's going to be ENCE now. Final half of the series here taking place in regulation. It's going to be ENCE leading with 1 round, and the pistol round is going to be taking place. Complexity taking over the A bomb side, and ENCE falling back for the retake.
Config charging forward, Glock in hand. Dodo just sitting back at spawn right now. Looks to peek out to the left side, but his time is ticking for Complexity, and the name coming around the corner. Config running forward, the flash is up, the kill's not coming through at all for Complexity. They don't get a single kill, and now BlameF and Rush left into a 2v5, and ENCE are winning this pistol round, and they're doing it in convincing fashion. BlameF is left alone, trying to do everything, and he will not find more than one. It's ENCE on 9 rounds, and a good start into the second half.
Oh, that got close. That got a little close. I just want to point out that we brought up how Poison had 13 kills and Config had 17 kills when the scoreline was, I think, 10 rounds in? It was 10 rounds in, right? The last 6 rounds, Poison hasn't got a single kill, while Config found 2 in the past 6 rounds. That's how shut down they've been by ENCE. As for Complexity, bomb planted, small consolation, a few deagles, a P250 in the hands of Rush. And Config. Okay. JKS finds another. This is starting to look expensive already. Getting a sense of deja vu from Dust 2 Dinko.
That nade, just perfect. And Sunny quickly getting the second and the third added as well. Maybe against the pistols, but done in a flashy fashion. And now it's all on Config. 20-9, 101 ADR, brought down by Sadix. Now 11-9, 10-7 on the board. ENCE are looking good. This is definitely the most excited I've been about ENCE in a very long time, Blair.
The kill spread difference between the top fragger and the bottom fragger of ENCE is 2. The difference between the top fragger and bottom fragger of Complexity is 17. That's Rush and Config. And for me, that's just very telling. It just shows how ENCE, it's working out for them. It's not about 1 or 2 players stepping up. It just, everyone seems to be playing the role perfectly. They're winning the duels, and it's not like they're out-aiming Complexity completely. No, the trade game has been on point. Even when they lose a player early on, they usually struggle with these opening duels, but still, the way they're able to steal back, the way they're able to play composed in some of these 3v3s, I'm like, wait, this lineup is like a week old?
Yeah, it's especially nuts. Because it looked different on Dust 2, right? We got those early signs that it was a new team in the first couple of rounds of Dust 2, but somehow they changed it around. And I think it all comes off that little bit of a resurgence out of the second half of Dust 2. Oh my god, Sadix, now that's not the play, Blair.
Well, at least Alu does get a reply back, but the 2 bombs have been lost. And Alu not able to do much from that position. BlameF. Look at how low they are, though. The thing is that information being conveyed? Because if it has, I wouldn't be too surprised if Dodo just went for it. Not Sunny, but at least Dodo with the MP9. Just push on in, you know, farm a bit of cash, make it expensive for Complexity. But instead, it looks like they're just going to be going for the save. At least Sunny should be going for the save here, but Dodo, like I said, he's going to be pushing on in. That gun being dropped might have been heard by the player playing towards short, that is Config. Complexity, well, they're finally going to win around here.
Yeah, that was a bit of a strange round from ENCE, maybe getting a little bit too comfortable, and I'm glad they get slapped on the wrist. That's the kind of play Sadix will not be making again, I'm sure. Just kind of walking to the smoke, thought he could get a good timing. The percentage of winning or coming out on top in that sort of scenario was very small in comparison to the amount of times you will be bashed in the head. So I'm glad that he's probably learned from that and will not be doing it again. But 10 to get on the board and still on double figures, looking quite comfortable. Complexity, their buy comes out. They finally get the round under their belt. They desperately needed a round pickup, and they needed it soon. And maybe, just maybe, this is the start of what could be the comeback from Complexity to tie up the scoreline.
Could be. But you know what, Dinka? I'm done making predictions. This game has just proved me wrong time and time again. And you know what? I'm happy for it. I don't want to be like, oh yeah, it's going to be 2-0, and it turns out to be a 2-0. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy that ENCE are putting up a fight. In fact, I'm happy ENCE are actually kind of winning right now. Although, we're still not done yet, Dinka. We still have some ways to go. Pretty much a full eco coming out from ENCE, apart from the saved AK-47 in the hands of Mr. Doto. Kit as well, but apart from that. Oh, Alice picked up the M4. All right, that's good. Picking it up from Sunny's corpse. And Complexity now heading in towards A with 3 players aligned and make that 4. Sadix is nearby to what's connected. It could get ugly, but Yampy's going to be found out. But a 2 rifles still in play, Bingo.
Well, Alu trying to get something done, and it's just not going to work out for them. Sadix could actually carry this M4 into the next round, and that wouldn't be too bad considering what just went down in this round. But nonetheless, 10-9 on the board. Complexity, 1 away from tying things up. I'm just happy, Blair, that we have a segment actually all about predictions. So, you know, you will always be forced into making a prediction, whether you like it or not.
No, I'm like, all right, I'm finally for a change. I'm going to be casting a tournament. I wouldn't have to make predictions, but never.
It's there. It's there for you.
It's always there. It's always there. Always chasing me down. Vu got all his predictions right in DreamHack Open, apart from the grand finals, where we all predicted Spirit and. Anyway.
It's not bad.
Sadix will not save his gun. And with that, Complexity are going to be in round number 9. Over the replay as well. My center of blame. I barely spotted Sunny's head there. But then again, I'm old and I'm almost blind.
Yeah, I think Poison was actually taking the fight early, and then so BlameF comes out and starts just immediately fighting the position as well. So good stuff coming in here from Complexity to pick up that round easily. It's all about this one though. Money is on the line for ENCE. If they lose this one, their money will be gone, and Complexity will actually be in the driver's seat. Now, the most heartbreaking thing for ENCE right now is if they let this one slide completely. So I want to try and keep this focus up, this boost. Oh, BlameF completely ready for it. He read that like a book.
He read that like a book and shredded it as well. This isn't necessarily a great buy for ENCE, Dinko. I mean, they have the guns, but look at it. Minute and 20 on the clock. They have the smoke in the hands of Dodo, who's got a FAMAS. That smoke, which I just mentioned, is going to be a dead giveaway as to his position. Config has conveyed information to his teammates that there is a player towards jungle. And because ENCE had like early 3-man stack towards B, that A bomb site is bereft of any CD site presence. But Sunny finding Poison, that's going to make things interesting. And as this barrel of Config gets spotted out by Dodo, things are going to get even more scary indeed. As Dodo finds Config, upgrades to the AK, and suddenly it's turned around.
Rush starting to walk forward. Alu positioning back at CT spawn. He's going to look up for the palace exit, but he's just clearing all these close positions. This palace exit could be his death, but he spots the utility coming out around the corner. Turns his attentions back up towards palace. Now looking for the fight at ramp. He's repositioned and now has help from his teammate at spawn as well. And Dodo wins an important duel against BlameF. Alu as well, following up. JKS swinging as the last remaining player, and ENCE will pick them apart. 11-9 for Complexity. And this is just looking so good for ENCE right now. These individuals, even with the weaker weapons, even if they don't have the utility fully fledged in this team, they are still pulling off the round wins based on team play.
I don't want to be critical or anything, but Rush was aware of where the AWP was, and he exposed himself to an angle where it was a free kill for Alu. Maybe a little bit of panic. Maybe he was expecting Alu not to be holding that angle as Alu. Well, he gets his revenge, Dingo. He gets his vengeance as a Rush trying to jump his way out. He knows where the player is, and Sadix will somehow recover and finds Rush, but he's going to get hounded down by Config, and Sunny trying desperately to get a trade. And he's got to fight.
Sunny with a kill on Poison. A 3v3 as they re-enter the bomb site. ENCE looking for the retake. They would lock 12 rounds in on the scoreboard. They walk forward, Config with the rifle, close position. Yampy's head torn from his shoulders. And now Dodo and Sunny looking for it all to do. No kit on their backs, no utility at all to force these positions. And while Sunny is now left behind the bench. Nothing but a dream. And it's a 10th round for Complexity. 11-10 on that scoreboard. And DreamHack social media put it best. There's a battle raging here in the B stream. And Complexity currently coming back into it.
Config has been activated like this entire game. 25 kills, even on overpass. He was just opening up the bomb site with just the deagle in hand. And I think he just had enough, Dinko. I think he's like, you know what, screw it, I'll just do everything myself. Zedix opens things up, finds JKS. It's a nice opening kill. It's just the it's a forced investment from ENCE, mind you. A couple of deagles. Rifles, and Config once more leading the way. He's got backup arriving in the form of Poison right behind him with the AWP. They're going to be creeping on up towards the bomb side. And he spots a player out. Is he going to check the corner? The boost. He's going to find him. Yampy's going to be found out. And Config, he's hitting everything. 2 quick headshots. The B bomb side is theirs. And with that Complexity, they're going to find round number 11. Excuse me. Config has just been spectacular, Dinko. Despite the woes of Complexity, he has been a shining light.
It has been definitely a Config showing in this series so far. He has been a very consistent part for the team, I feel, as well. And he has been, not just in this series, but recently as a whole for Complexity. He has been so good. And that's one of the most exciting things about this Complexity team to me is the resurgence of Config. How many years did we see Config, or months, or even years at this point, yeah, where he was just out in the wind, not really doing a whole lot. It was just frustrating watching a player with so much talent not really get to the levels we expect him to be at and what he expects of himself. And finally, with this Complexity team, he has once again risen to those heights. And, well, I think we're still yet to see the best Config come out, and that's a scary sign.
Yeah, what a journey he's had. I mean, remember when he used to play for SK back in, I think it was like just a month or so. Then he was in Dignitas. Then, of course, he had that stint in North, later on Optic, and finally, like you said, at the end of the journey, he's finally found his own Complexity. It's looking good. Rush gonna find Yampy. It is just a couple of save rifles and the 3 USBs, so it should be easy pickings as Config. He hears him running around, but he can't break the window, the murder hole, or else it's going to be a dead giveaway, but it's going to be conveying information to his teammates. And I heard at least a couple of players heading towards A, so the B bomb side would be the ideal place to head towards. Config is 2 kills away from dropping a 30 bomb, Dinko, and we're yet to see round number 24.
He is having a wonderful game right now. He is actually doing enough work to make up for the rest of his team's underperformers right now, which is ridiculous. And now Complexity just running into this B bomb site. It is completely empty, of course, with ENCE saving both players on this A bomb site. And they desperately need to get these weapons into the next round. Complexity will lock themselves in 12 rounds on this board, courtesy of Config, mainly. And of course, Poison has had a good few rounds himself. JKS, yet another very quiet performance out of him. 7 and 13. Can you imagine Complexity if they just had a few more individuals showing up today? Just alongside Poison, alongside Config. Maybe have one of those big performances from BlameF where he wins a lot of the clutches or wins a lot of these multi-kill rounds. Just a little difference here or there for Complexity right now, and I think it's a different story. I don't think ENCE play them as close, but right now, that's what the Complexity team is on the server, and ENCE are doing a good job at keeping it close right now, but it seems like Complexity have grabbed control of things.
I don't know yet. I think Config has with his very capable hands. But apart from that, we've seen BlameF with some of these very nice entries he's been getting so far. But JKS and Rush have been very silent. And like I said, for ENCE though, it has stagnated a little bit. However, CD side economy always hard. You know, you just you win a couple of rounds, you lose so many players, and suddenly you're just left staring straight into an eco. Rush gonna spot out the jumping player. That is going to be Sadix, and it's going to be Sadix winning the duel. Rush gets taken down. Conflict takes a lot of damage as well. The Complexity not wasting any time, heading straight for this B bomb side as Conflict's going to find Sadix. It's his 29th kill, and Sunny just running around, dancing, weaving around the pillars, trying to stay alive, and in fact, trying to find a kill.
Yeah, this is a really good position, but he's spotted in the back by Config. That's his 30th kill. ENCE locked out of the sight. And now Yampi just playing back from short. He's in the ladder room right now, and the bomb will go down for Complexity. ENCE need to consider if they want to go for this. They've got one kit, one player with utility, and there's not a single incendiary across the board here. So this is not looking good for ENCE, and it's all about the exit kills. It's all about saving into this next one. And we'll see if they can even do that. Alu's under a lot of pressure. BlameF's trying to charge towards him, and he's got the headshot. He literally just ripped Alu's head off his shoulders. That snapped his spine. And it's 13 rounds for Complexity.
You're just playing execute service, man. You're just running and deathmatching. What is Config on? 30 kills in regulation, and we still have... at the bare minimum,
the scoreboard is so ridiculous looking. Just look at this Complexity scoreboard.
30, 14, 14, and 2 players in single digits. And you look at ENCE, and everyone's kind of equal. Let's take a look at ENCE, right? 14, 11, 12, 15, 13. That's a nice and even kill spread. And then you have Complexity. It's
pretty wild.
It's like Nico back in Mouse Sports. It was a long time ago. But ENCE have used their final tactical timeout, Dinko. They know that this is starting to slip away from their hands. And initially, when we started this game, we spoke about how when Dust 2 was done, we were like, you know what, they'd be pretty happy with the way Dust 2 played out. They definitely gave a fight. And then Overpass, they won it. So right now, having taken it to map number 3, they'd be looking for the big W. They're looking for the win here. And Config seems to be the only man standing in their way.
And we'd have the big V on the broadcast and the big W. Vince a little bit earlier on the show with Tom. And well, now we head into some of the most important rounds coming right up. ENCE looking for a 12th. Config again, just opening up the server. Opening up Yampi. He's got the initial kill. And the man advantage collected here for Complexity. I'll slow it down again, and the rest of the push coming into with B. Once again, just trying to pressure the defense over here. Sadix is on the Deagle. Molotov down in close short, and Poison now just starting to run on through. Alu is held back. It does feel like they're kind of isolating that B defense a lot now, Complexity. I think they've kind of found a weakness there, and they just keep abusing it.
Yeah, like they've gone for the fast play, they've gone for the slower one. They've gone from Cat, where it was Config just creeping up on that anti-eco. They went for the fast play towards B, and now they had the initial posturing towards mid, with Config getting the opening kill, and then immediately that's his time for his teammates to strike towards the B bomb site. So they know this B bomb site defense is kind of a chink in the armor for ENCE, and they're definitely abusing it. Again, another round for Complexity. All 5 players alive, and Config, the guy, is tasted blood, Dinko, and he is looking for more. You even saw BlameF crack a little bit of a smile there.
Yeah, that's a good sign, because Complexity were definitely looking a little down and out, I think, from the end of Dust 2. Because they should have closed that game out much quicker. I think they realized that. And so we have seen them kind of just full focus. They lose their map pick. Finally, they're getting a little bit of space to maneuver in coming into these final few rounds of Mirage. If ENCE pull it back now, Bled, this is just ridiculously impressive. They got the double up setup in play. They've got the M4s and the FAMAS. This is still a chance for ENCE to pull this one back.
I would like to see them like pressure the B apartments area a little bit more.
Yeah.
To have had such a fantastic T side and to like let it slip away on the CD side would be kind of heartbreaking. Also, gotta wonder if Config wasn't having a game like this. There is a world that ENCE could have just taken the series, or taken this map and series, in fact. But BlameF, he snuck on up. It's the first time they're going for this fast boost towards Cat and Alu. Dinko, is he aware of this?
I don't think so. BlameF, he's going to take the kill. Sunny going down, smoke up in the window, and BlameF is going to get out of there. An assassin taking the opening kill for ENCE, or should I say Complexity. And now ENCE have got to try and figure things out over here towards this B bomb site. the congregation of the Complexity players over in the B apartments. Sadix is being kind of exploited in recent rounds over towards B here. Alu hasn't had a kill in a very long time, and now he looks to show up with his ult. The first is in, the second as well, and that's the bomb down. Alu is looking for another. Finally, the double up setup starting to ring in. It's Yampy with the second kill on the up very quickly, and now it's Poison running forward. Dodo with the follow-up in the rifle, and Playmeth is left alone. He cracked open the round, but he will end up falling last. 14-12, ENCE will pull off the round win, and that's all Alu. Inside of the site, showing up, getting those two very important kills.
And a save coming in from Dodo as well, because his position, it was known. I think it was Poison who was coming in for the kill, but Alu doing a great job here. Not just getting those 2 kills, but staying alive. With that, they have seemed to have stemmed the bleeding for now. Look at the money for Complexity. They can pretty much buy up 3 rounds back-to-back. Money's not a problem, and for the very first time, it looks like in a long time, Dinko, they want to head towards his A bomb site. And it's going to be an A hit coming in. Yampy's going to be tossing the Molotov to keep them at bay, but they're going to smoke it off, just come brute forcing their way in. Yampy in a very uncomfortable position with the AWP as Dodo finds one. Quick trade. What could Yampy do? Isolated on the site. He's gonna find one. Drops the bomb on top of the box. Alu joining his team and helping him out, but Blame F, he's gonna get the trade, and it's a 2v3, still favoring ENCE.
2v3, ENCE with the man advantage, and the bomb down for Complexity. That's the most important part right now. Look where it is. They've got to jump up and collect that bomb. JKS luckily taking the kill on Sunny. And at least that gives them info. But Blim F moves forward, catches the headshot onto Sadix, and somehow this round has fallen to pieces. Once again, Alu has to be asked to win the clutch, and it will not happen. ENCE will lose to 3 versus 2, and Complexity will reach map and series point here on Mirage.
It was not easy at all, Dinko, but finally, they have reached a finish line. 1 more round. That's all they need. And JKS... Blame F. I guess especially having a quiet game, but well played 2v3 there. Although ENCE, wow, that was a round they desperately needed, I think. Now, potential final round. Blame F is going to find one, continuing to spray into the smoke, but Yampy finds Config Poison, taking shots through the smoke. He's aware, he's cognizant of the fact that there might be someone hiding inside of the smoke like a wraith. And the tick. And the kill from Poison. 4v3 now. And Alu, he's got to go God mode, but Rush will shut him down, the God Killer himself, as Yampy and Sadix left in a 2v4 to try and keep Complexity at bay. Sadix finds one. 3 more to go.
A lot of work to be done here. And Complexity is certainly in a very comfortable position in this round. A minute left on the clock. Defense on the B bomb site is now completely nulled, as they're actually going to fully start walking over towards A. 1 player in the connector, 1 towards jungle, and the B bomb site is completely empty. Sadix will realize, okay, nothing's coming into A, so I'm going to have to go back over to this B bomb site, and I don't think a player on 13 HP with an MP9 is going to be enough to hold off 3 players of Complexity. Luckily, Yampy's over here. He's got the kill on the ult. That's the first kill. They drop on in a second as well. Quick shot from Yampy. And now a real chance for ENCE to stay alive here. Poison in the 1v2. Pulls the bomb. Goes for the tap in the smoke. Draws it into the 1v1 as he shuts down Sadix. He's looking for Yampy. And the Molotov off to the left side. Poison in the 1v1. Spots the position of Yampy. 9 seconds. And the young Finn will secure a 4K and a 13th round for ENCE.
When it looked like it was all over, Dinko, somehow Yampy just steps up massively. He was a player who had to be the difference maker. It was a 4v2. And Yampy, huge kills with the AWP. And with that, that's as clutch as you can get. He's been kind of quiet so far in the series, Dinko, but that round could have made up for all of it. For Complexity, they of course still have money for days. They're going to be buying on up. But the opportunities to close this one out and call it a day, it's dwindling by the minute. 2 opportunities remain for Complexity. 2 chances, 2 map and match points. But ENCE, they're not going to go down without a fight. It's not over yet.
This game is a diamond in the rough. No one was expecting this matchup to deliver like this. This is unbelievable. ENCE should be proud of this performance no matter the result if they come out of this. Obviously, yes, Complexity have had a few individuals kind of frying a little less than they should be, but nonetheless, it's still incredibly impressive considering, okay, 1 week of practice at a boot camp, no official games with this team, 2 players that are completely new to this level of Counter-Strike, and you are bringing them to the brink and could still just win this. They could send him to the lower bracket early on. Complexity just need 1 round. Got the better buy. Yampy, another kill for him. Config instantly replying, but Dodo stepping up with the MP9. He will take a better position at Tetris. Alu holding the cross. 35 seconds. And the pressure is certainly building for ENCE. The heart rate is certainly rising, and the flash is through. Config, he decapitates the defense. He is their nightmare when they close their eyes, and Statix is left alone. A 1 versus 3. Complexity will be locking themselves in the win. But what a game from ENCE. What a showing from this team.
They made sure it wasn't easy for Complexity at all, but my lord, Config, my man. He's just been unplayable this entire game. And they get the win in the end. A little bit of a smile, cracking a bit of a smile on the players from Complexity. Config, he's got to be happy. Yeah, he's feeling, he's looking for more. Oh.
He couldn't have done more. Honestly, this guy put in a shift. A huge performance coming in from Config. Complexity, they'll not be too happy with how they got the win, but they'll be happy that they got it over the line. ENCE coming into this one, the expectations were at a low, right? No one really expected much out of this ENCE team, so the pressure was really off. It didn't start well on Dust 2. In fact, it started as it should have over on Dust 2, but in that second half, that's when we got to see some of these young stars actually show up and show a little bit of what they've got. And to be honest, I'm impressed by ENCE, and I'm excited for this team again.
They're going to be playing Cloud9 next, if I'm not mistaken, lower bracket. If I'm Cloud9, I'm going to be a little wary. They look fantastic, especially Statix and Dodo. These are the 2 players who, Dodo's played only 3. This is his 3rd official game with ENCE, and this is Statix's his debut with the side of ENCE against a team like Complexity. Going to be playing at that level. Take a bow, so that's some fantastic stuff. And honestly, I hope this is kind of like a sign of things to come. I don't want to be too optimistic because I've been burned too many times by the Finns, but maybe, Dinko, we could be seeing a new team joining the fray.
Well, they've given you a lot to be excited about, and I'm looking forward to breaking down that performance because, honestly, when you take a look at that one, Blood, there's so much to look at in terms of how ENCE actually adapted, some of the weaknesses from Complexity as well, because that's certainly something you have to take note of, and we're going to be breaking that one down very, very shortly. So make sure you don't go anywhere. We're taking a look at this map and this series as a whole after this. Complexity versus ENCE, a matchup that not many expected to be a banger, but ended up delivering on the server. All 3 maps, nearly all the rounds, and it was impressive from ENCE. But Complexity, they took it over the line. Even if they wanted to lose, Config was not letting them. He dragged them over the line, kicking and screaming on Mirage, and it's a huge win for him to get it over the line. You can see the relief on his face at the end of this one. But Blatt, what is your overall thoughts coming out of this matchup?
Config is a juggernaut. That's about it. But
yeah,
all jokes aside, he is the juggernaut. Although BlameF might be like individually, physically the bigger gentleman. Jokes aside, memes aside, I feel like he was a difference maker. I think you hit the nail right on the head that he was the guy. Which honestly, I felt like he kept ENCE from winning that series. Or else, if it didn't show up the way he did today here in the final map, this could have been ENCE actually taking the series, if you ask me.
Yeah, ENCE could have picked up the series, and a big part of that was one individual. It was the new addition, Dodo, had a huge performance today, surprising us all. We're actually going to get to hear from Dodo right now and just sort of hear his thoughts on how that match played out. Because when we took a look at overall the performance coming into this matchup, not a lot of people expected much out of the newer players. This is their new look at a high professional tier, right? When you're playing at the top of Counter-Strike, Complexity is not an easy team. So when you take a look at that, that's a huge step up, and we're going to get to hear the thoughts of Dodo coming out of that matchup. So first of all, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And it was a really solid performance out of you guys. Unfortunately, not getting the win. But the first question I want to ask you is, how do you feel like you've transitioned from playing at sort of like the tier 2, 3 level of Counter-Strike? And do you notice the immediate differences playing against a team like Complexity recently?
Thank you. I don't know. It feels pretty much the same as before playing. I mean, the lower tier teams are more random. It's hard to have good reads about them, so it actually feels more comfortable playing against the better teams.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on, Dinko.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I could definitely see that in the performance in terms of how you stepped up today. You definitely had a lot of moments. You look quite comfortable. But, Blight, you got anything to add?
Yeah, I know you can't see me right now because I'm a black screen, but my thing would be, considering how new a team it was and the fact that you managed to push a team like Complexity all the way to map number 3, it was a close game in the end. Their config was really good, which is why it looked like you guys were not able to close it. At the end of it, despite it being a loss, and I'm sure you're disappointed because of that, are you guys still at least a little satisfied or happy with the fact that you were able to make it this close?
I think we're satisfied by winning Overpass. Like, we lost Dust 2 pretty convincingly, but we managed to win their map pick on Overpass, which we honestly didn't think we would probably win. I thought we would win Dust 2 and it would be 3 maps, but yeah, I think we're pretty satisfied, and we're glad that our bootcamp has been paying off.
Okay.
Yeah, personally, this is one of the best looking ENCEs we've seen in a while in terms of, you know, the pressure's kind of off as well for the ENCE roster, it feels now. But when you're coming into Dust 2, do you feel like in the second half, when you got that little bit of momentum, did that kind of give you more to play with in terms of your mentality heading into the game? Because it really felt like you guys were really struggling, and then there was a little patch of form in the second half of Dust 2, and from that point onwards, it felt like you guys were in the series.
Yeah, I feel like it's always important to at least come back or fake comeback in those games, like going into the second map so you don't just get run over there again. So us getting the rounds on CT and Dust 2 was important for the team mentality for sure.
Yeah, well, thank you for joining me. Congratulations on the performance. Even though it is a loss, it's a very impressive performance in terms of, you know, first time joining this team and really looking solid in your first couple of matches, and maybe next time. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for your thoughts.
Thank you.
So very interesting, Blood, to kind of hear the you're back, right? You disappeared for a long time. I thought you would disappear, Blood, but nonetheless, he is here. But yeah, it's interesting to hear the thoughts from Dodo there about the team, because right now, I think ENCE are a team that are starting their rebuild, right? This is all about building a new roster, and honestly, Dodo looked really impressive in their win on Overpass. He was a big part of their win over on Overpass in terms of those big multi-kills he was getting. He aced against a full buy of Complexity. Now, these are big performances coming in from him.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that they were so composed in these very crunch scenarios we saw in Overpass, even in Mirage in the first half, right? I was just blown away. I'm like, wait, this team looks so good with these 2 new additions coming in. So yeah, good stuff. But yeah, in the end, close but no cigar.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, but when we take a look at anything in particular about ENCE, I really do feel like a lot of the little mistakes coming through from them cost them some big rounds. I think we've seen their confidence kind of start to lack over on that B bomb site once Sadek started to get punished for some of that aggression through the apartments. He started to sit back a little too passive, and I mean, we did definitely start to see Complexity abuse that B bomb site over and over again. Config just got in his head, it feels like, and would just push it in constantly. They changed it up a few times, had the AWP set up in there. I feel like the AWPs are integral to the performance of this ENCE team right now. Yampu and Alu are just incredible players.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, that's a cool thing, right? You have Yampi and Alu stepping up with the AWP, being consistent. Then you have Dodo and the new youngster joining in the team, just doing the job. And as long as Sunny has a decent day, suddenly you have a team that's very, very dangerous and very deadly. But I have to agree with you. It was like Complexity, they had the read on that B bomb site. They knew it was a bit porous and they abused it. And also the fact that Config wasn't missing anything and dropped 37 kills in regulation kind of helped a bit.
Yeah, that was pretty nuts. We've seen a huge performance coming in from Config, and honestly, I joked about it, but it really did feel like he was dragging them through to the win there. They had no other option. They were winning that map. He was just hitting everything, turning around, getting 4Ks. Even that last round was just ridiculous, and how he was just decapitating everybody in the A bomb site. And there's not really much you can do as a fresh-faced ENCE when you're going up against a Config that's decided it's his day.
Yeah, you really can't. He even went like 5-1 in opening duels, although I do believe... Is that a ring? I can hear, yeah, I do believe we have an interview.
Okay. We've got Rush here to take a look at Complexity and really talk about this performance coming in from them. First of all, thanks for joining us, Rush.
Yeah, no worries.
First of all, I did want to ask about the Complexity performance here. Now, obviously, you get the win over the line, but it was against a fresh-faced ENCE, right? A couple of new players coming in that are new to the level. Are you guys, first of all, happy with this performance?
Yeah, I mean, happy with the win, obviously, but it could have been a little cleaner on our side. I think, like on Dust 2, they had a really nice comeback, and it was kind of getting away from us, and it could have been a 16-6, but you can't be upset when you win. Just got to look over the mistakes after and make sure you don't make them again going forward, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're obviously going to be taking a look at that later on, but just coming off fresh off the game, did it feel like this was an ENCE who were pushing you, or did you feel like it was more about mistakes you were making, or were ENCE actually making you guys sweat a little bit there in Overpass and Mirage?
Yeah, I think it was just like them being really aggressive, and we're not used to that maybe. And also, like, we didn't have a lot of homework on them because they have like 2 new players pretty much. So yeah, we didn't have much to read them. We kind of played our own game, and I think on their CT sets especially, they were really aggressive, and that kind of caught us off guard.
All right.
Yeah, taking a look at the performance overall from you guys, Config was just lighting it up. Do you feel like you guys, even if you're having a bad day, do you just feel like the individual level is always enough to take it over the line against a team like ENCE?
Yeah, I mean, Christian, obviously, Config obviously carried us this game. It's really nice and a good feeling, but can't always rely on him to do that, right? So some more people have to show up more frequently, I think.
You do have the game coming up next tomorrow, which is going to be, well, not Cloud9. It's not going to be a rematch. It's going to be against Gambit. Were you maybe a little surprised at the result there?
No, not really. I think, not that to take anything away from Cloud9, but I think people underestimate Gambit. I think they're actually a really good team, and we practiced them quite a bit in the past, and we played them a lot in home cups when we used to play them back in the summer and spring. And I think I was always impressed by the way they played, and they've stuck together, and they only made one roster change with Hobbit. And I think that, yeah, they're a solid team, and we can't underestimate them either.
All right. Good luck for tomorrow from my side.
Thanks.
Yeah, well, thank you for joining us, Raj. Congratulations on your win. Go enjoy it. Thank you for joining us.
Appreciate it. See you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Complexity, obviously, get it over the line. That's all they need to do. I feel like some of these games, when you're playing against some of these unknown quantities, like you said, you don't really have much homework on this team. You don't really know what they're doing over their week boot camp. You don't really know what to expect. And sometimes they can be the most difficult matches.
Oh, absolutely. And especially when you're talking about a team who, when you make 2 big changes like this, and it's a team who already have an identity, it's tricky, right? Because it's an ENCE who are used to playing at a high level already. You have Sunny, you have Alu obviously there. So it's a team who have veterans and you also have new players. You have mixed a lot of things up. So I can completely get why Complexity got caught a little off guard. I'm also happy that they're not too harsh on themselves. I feel like I don't want to take anything away from ENCE. They played spectacularly, but in the end, the Juggernaut prevails. Gambit against Complexity tomorrow, that's going to be a banger, I think.
Yeah, that really is. You know, we've got Gambit coming fresh off an open win just yesterday, coming in today, looking real solid, taking the win over Cloud9. I'm looking forward to seeing that matchup play out. We can take a look at the bracket here, Bly, and just kind of update our thoughts on how things are playing out recently. And here in Group A, we've got ourselves Heroic taking the 2-0 win over Contact to start things off today. They head on to play Spirit, who took the win against Fizz. Complexity just about get the win over ENCE there. They finished with the win, and they will be going on to play against Gambit, like you said.
Yeah, well, the Cloud9, everyone waiting for the Cloud9 Complexity matchup. They got denied because Gambit dropped Cloud9 down to the lower bracket. But there you have it, Complexity Gambit in the upper bracket. Heroic Spirit, that should be a banger as well. I always like watching like this heroic style Counter-Strike against a team like Spirit, who are a little bit more wild in a so. But it's good to see the 2 CIS teams. Both the teams were the finalists yesterday in the DreamHack Open November, which ended with Gambit beating Spirit. So both of them winning their opening matchups. Group A shaping up to be kind of interesting.
Well, over on the A stream, we've actually taken a little trip over the pond. We're no longer in Europe. They're over playing in the North American side of the tournament. It's currently Chaos versus Rugrats over there as well. It's currently 8-6, so if you're interested in that, head on over. But here's today's results, just a recap of the two streams we've got. Over on the main stream, we've seen FaZe Clan versus Team Spirit. 2-0 for the Team Spirit side. Not too bad at all coming out, showing the CIS prowess. Team Liquid taking a loss against Mouse Sports 2-0. The North Americans not really having a great time. They head to the lower bracket, possibly facing elimination. Cloud9 losing to Gambit Esports, who again showing the CIS strength. And over on the A stream, we'll see Chaos and Rugrats currently playing out right now. Rugrats just closed out the half 9-6. Here on the secondary stream, if you've been following us today, we've seen Heroic take the win over Contact to start the day off. No real surprises there. Easy game for Heroic overall on paper. Astralis though versus Godsend. Now this was something else. Emmy the coach was carrying.
A coach, but you know, memes aside, Astralis, they don't look the way they've looked in the past, right? Like losing a nuke, a map where everyone's like, yeah, they're gonna take this one. They won Duster pretty convincingly, mind you, map number 2, but Godsend, my oh my. I don't think anyone saw that coming, but Emmy leading the way, in-game leader, ex-coach of the team as well. And then of course we just saw right now ENCE, well, falling a little short of getting the win over Complexity. Coming up next though, it's going to be the NA games. I'm looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, we're going to be moving over to North America, and this is going to be an exciting time. I haven't really got to cast much of the North American action this year around, and I'm looking forward to getting into it. After the break, we've got ourselves Triumph taking on Rebirth. Triumph have been looking real dominant in this North American region. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they can show us as they take on Rebirth after the break.